Welcome back to The Voice. We just took a quick break, and now I've got a very exciting guest with me that I want to introduce to you, Sonja Nichols. And Sonja's running for the state senate against Jeff Jackson, which is a surprise that he has a really good opponent this time. And so I just wanted you to meet Sonja and to hear her heart and why she wants to serve in the state senate. So Sonja, welcome to The Voice.
Thank you.
Let me ask you about your background. Tell me quickly about what you've done in your life and to get to this point where you want to run for the Senate.
I can't call myself a charlatan. We've been here, Tammy, for at least 20 years. Wife, mother, I have worked as an entrepreneur. I've worked in corporate America. I would tell people I've taken some of my talents and have utilized them in the nonprofit community here in Charlotte. So I've served as a leader in nonprofit work here in Charlotte. So I've been the president of Good Friends, the president of the Women's Impact Fund. God has allowed me to be a very prolific fundraiser for a lot of the nonprofits here. So I've sat on a lot of boards, have raised money. I would say my biggest fundraisers to date, my most famous fundraiser to date is my friend Tina Henry and I worked with the UNCF, Maya Angelou Women Who Leads Luncheon.
Wow.
And that was the luncheon. We happened, God blessed us with Oprah Winfrey. And
My
we
goodness.
raised, the whole community came to bear, and we raised over $2.3 million. So it was one of the biggest fundraising luncheons in Charlotte's history.
That's amazing.
It's so exciting, exciting. And so hopefully what I'm trying to do is the skills that I've developed as it relates to being a leader in the nonprofit world, I'd like to take those skills to the North Carolina State Senate.
That's wonderful. I can't think of a better way to prepare for the Senate because it takes a lot of money to run for office.
Yes, it does.
Especially in a swing seat like this seat.
This is a district that I want to say is evenly distributed. 32% Democrat, 31% Republican, 37% unaffiliated.
Wow. So more unaffiliated than Republicans or Democrats.
And so if there was ever a seat that was truly up for grabs, it is this one.
So you're telling me you have a chance.
I have a chance. God willing and the creek don't rise, I will win. But I'm gonna need y'all's help. Tell your friends, if you live in District 37, that's if you're coming from downtown, coming straight down Providence Road, all the way down to 485, go out as far west as Park Road, go out as far east as Independence, I'm your girl. I'm the person that will represent you best in the North Carolina Senate.
And I believe that. You're such a sharp businesswoman. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing right now in your business career.
Well, a lot of what I am doing, we have switched. When we started our company, we were a private security guard company staffed entirely with military veterans. And so my grandfather was in the military. He was a sergeant in the military. So I love our military. I'm so pro-military. I'm all-day military. Started that company because I thought it would be great as we had our veterans coming back from service.
Yes.
And we would utilize those skills. It turns out, as much as everybody wants them, most people didn't want to pay for them. And so what we have done is transitioned the business into an angel fund investing type of business, where as people need money for things like a business plan, if they're looking for accounting services, if they need to start at work as it relates to technology, then we've been investing in them.
Now let me turn to your Senate race because it's unusual to see a black woman running as a Republican. And so you're a black woman running against a white man who's a Democrat, which is just exactly opposite what you might expect.
Right.
And so you've broken all the stereotypes and explain to our viewers the difference between you and your opponent, Jeff Jackson.
Yes. So you're right, Tammy. I think there is the shock and awe of me being what's called a unicorn. I have decided to come out and literally as a black Republican. I have been one almost all my life. It was just the way I was brought up. I was brought up in a conservative household. Be honest, it was not my plan to run against Jeff Jackson. It just so happened he's in my district. So
see.
they brought him over here, so here he is. I would say that the biggest difference is the entire time I've been in Charlotte, I have always had to work across the aisle. I have always had to be a connector. I've always had to be a bridge builder. My opponent, on the other hand, he just became a bridge builder, I would say, in the last 2 or 3 months, because he spent the last 6 years really being, I would consider, very partisan. If you go to his social media feeds, you will find that he's very, very partisan. He leans far to the left. He's, I think he's a nice person. So I have to say that, because I think genuinely that he really is he's a nice guy,
Yeah.
and people love him. His family is beautiful.
Yeah.
He posts beautiful stories, but he hasn't done any work for this community. Can't say he's brought any money to Mecklenburg County aside from what the state is going to give you. You
Yeah.
can't say he's brought any legislation to Mecklenburg County. He makes great speeches, but there's no work done. We don't have people here who are willing to work across the aisle with the General Assembly. If you know that it's a conservative, let's call it Republican-led General Assembly, a pragmatic business person would know we need to send somebody that can go in that room, in
Yes.
the room where the deals are being made. We need to put either someone that has the skill set to work with others in the room, work across the aisles. What do you need and how can I help you? Here's what I need. This is how you can help me. Let's work this out. I think back in the day, we used to be able to do that.
Sonja,
And now we don't.
you have that skill set. I know you do.
I think I
And
do.
I, as someone who's lobbied in the General Assembly for 15 years plus, I know who Jeff Jackson is, and Jeff Jackson is an activist liberal Democrat, and he votes that way every single time. And as you pointed out, he has a nice looking family, and he's a nice person, but his votes are what determine who he is.
Absolutely.
And so, Sonja, tell me, what are some of the things that you want to accomplish when you get elected to the General Assembly?
We don't have a really good relationship, a really loving relationship with Raleigh. And I think of all the things, if I could work on something for us, I want that to be the number one thing. We send a ton of resources. 30 to 35% of our resources in Mecklenburg County go to that general fund, and we don't get we don't get an equal amount back. And I really believe it's because we don't go in willing to work with the other side of the aisle. So we have 16 out of 17 people that are going to Raleigh, and they can't get things done for us because it's more important for them to be a Democrat than it is to take care of the constituency of Mecklenburg County.
And Sonja, that's just a great point. And it's really a reason to vote for you, isn't it?
If you don't do anything else, you want at least one Republican in the room.
Uh-huh.
And I think what I bring to the table is I bring a different level of diversity. And when I say that, I think it's not lost on some people. They don't realize this. I will be the first Black Republican female in the General Assemblies, in the General Assembly. There are very few minority Republicans in the General Assembly. I feel like I bring a fresh perspective. What can we do to help each other to make great things happen for not only Mecklenburg County, but for the state of North Carolina?
Right. Well, as you know, North Carolina Values Coalition works on specific issues, kind of what people would call social issues, the pro-life issue, religious freedom, marriage and families.
Yes.
And I know that you are a deep Christian, Sonja. I can see it when I talk with you and in your life. So tell me about those issues and how you expect those to impact you as a legislator.
I have to, of all the things, my walk with God is the most important thing in my life. I think that we have come into a time where every time we want to say something, we get beat up. And you can't say that we are inclusive and diversified if I can't bring my perspective to the table too.
Exactly.
And so my perspective is, it is conservative. It is, but what I would like to share is that I think Jesus also wanted us to be very compassionate and to be a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most people would have to agree, anyone that knows me knows that I'm a safe space. It's not that I'm necessarily agreeing with whatever you decide, but I am so open. I really want to hear what you think. I really want to, I want to understand, because knowing how you feel and taking into consideration your feelings will help shape how I make a decision. I want to take into consideration what you think and feel, but I also want the same consideration. I want you to take into consideration what I think and feel and what I'm also bringing to the table. I think that God made all of us different for a reason, so that all of us could participate. We could all be part of this prison. We could all be a part of this wonderful, people want to call it a melting pot. We're like, we're not a melting pot. We're a gumbo. Gumbo, it tastes delicious, but everything is different, and you can identify everything that's in that pot. You can see it. And it's okay to be different. I just want us to get to a point in this country where we're not beating each other up, that we're actually trying to come to the table and understand each other. And I want to be that person.
Well, I think your voice is refreshing in that regard, because we do have so much polarization, and not only in Washington, D.C., but also in Raleigh.
And also in Mecklenburg County.
Well, you do. I've seen it.
Yes.
But I know your opponent, Jeff Jackson, is really a polarizing figure when he stands up on the Senate floor.
Yes. One of the best endorsements I'm getting is literally from the General Assembly, and it is from the North Carolina Senate. So nearly...
they are thrilled that you are running. I have heard it myself.
Yes.
So, yes.
I tell everybody, just go to my website, and every day there's a new senator popping up saying that I will endorse you. The beautiful thing is, I even have a couple of, interestingly enough, Democratic senators who are also endorsing me, that they want me to win over my opponent.
That's wonderful.
Me to win over Jeff. And I think it's because they feel he has been, for them, the least effective legislator. And they've told me that. This is not me saying it. This is not the Republicans saying it. This is his own caucus saying it. You know, for an example, I'm clear he gets full endorsements from the teacher associations.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, so you know he voted against every single teacher pay raise that has come to the floor. You know that he's voted against every type of educational thing that I would say is beneficial to the black community. Not just the black community,
such as school choice. He's adamantly opposed to school choice.
I will tell you, if I, Tammy, am the most incensed about something right now. When we opened up the schools this year, and it went to online education, 18,000 plus poor kids did not have access to the internet. They did not have access to the education that they needed.
I've wondered what the numbers were.
Over 18,000. Yes. Now, there have been several of us who on the side, and there have been several people in Charlotte that have come together to raise monies to help the individual schools. But the thing that incensed me is, so while you all are trying to get it together, would it be okay if those children and their parents could pick another option? Now, if the public school system is the best one, great. If the private school system is the best one, great. If charter school system is the best one, great. Alternative school situation, if that's the best for my child, then that's the thing that I want for my child. Allow me to choose that.
Yeah, the point is let the parents choose what's best for their own child. Yes.
And so when I hear people vote against that, it incenses me. Why would you deny any child an opportunity to get the best education possible? We're trying to get them to come out of poverty. We're trying to get them to come out of the broken down neighborhoods and let them see something different.
And that's why Republicans passed the Opportunity Scholarship to allow children whose parents don't make enough money to enroll them in a private school to have the money the state would spend on their public school education. Follow the kid to the private school. So I'm glad to hear you say you support that, Sonja.
I am so pro educational choice.
Wonderful.
All day.
So are we. Wonderful. Well, I just wanted to let our viewers know that for reasons that you can see for yourself, I'm proud to announce today that the North Carolina Values Coalition endorses Sonja Nichols in her race for the state senate. And so we just
I know we're socially distancing. I'm not supposed to hold her hands. I'm going to give her a little hand wipe with sanitizer on in a few minutes.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you. As you can tell, she didn't know. It was a surprise. And so we just wanted to tell you in person that we support your candidacy.
I appreciate it. Thank
we
you.
hope you win.
I just thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's inspirational for me. So I'm like, well, if you can come out, I'm going to come on out here with you.
Well,
Okay.
we're sisters.
Yes, we
We're
are.
in this together. Yeah.
So I'm in with
So
you.
I just want to thank you so much for being on the show, and I wish you every best wish as you proceed in your candidacy. And I hope that we can all celebrate on November the 4th.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching our show tonight. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Voice. And if you want to see past shows, you can go to our website at ncvalues.org to watch past episodes. I'll see you again next week on Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Thanks and good night.
Which of these issues do you care about? What if you could influence how they were legislated? What if you could impact the outcome of the next election? What if you could change the course of America?